Creations by Courtney here with another crochet video. Today we're going to be making the corded dishcloth. So we have two different stitches to create a lovely texture that you can use in your bathroom or your kitchen, and we will be using a size I crochet hook that is a 5.5 millimeter and some worsted weight cotton yarn. So get your yarn, get your hook, and let's get stitching. We're going to get started on making the corded dishcloth. So I called it corded because we have two different stitches to create lots of texture. So we have some reverse single crochet, which used to be my go-to for just about any edging in any project. And then we also have a yarn over slip stitch, which some people may refer to as a half double slip stitch. So let's get started. Grab your worsted weight yarn in a size I. I'm using my Furls Odyssey in the lovely navy. And an I is a 5.5 millimeter hook. So I'm going to set this over here so that it is out of the way. There we go. So for this cloth, it is almost square at, excuse me, got hair in my face, 9 3/4 by 9 1/4. So again, it is almost square. And if you want it to be square, you could block it in the direction that you need based on your gauge. Gauge is provided in the pattern, but it's a dishcloth, so you have a little flexibility with it. I am using Premier cotton. This is a worsted weight yarn that is 85% cotton, 15% polyester, and it comes in 140 yards in each small ball. Premier Home Cotton comes in lovely colors, and this one is pastel blue. For this pattern, we'll only use about 88 yards to complete the dishcloth. So if you have some cotton yarn in your stash, this is a great way to use it up. So we're going to start by chaining 34. So we have 4, 5, 6. All right, so we have 34 chains, okay? And now we're going to double crochet in each chain, starting in the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I like to work in the back bump because it just creates a really nice edge. And it makes it a little easier when working because there is one round to even out the edges of this dishcloth. So just double crochet in each chain, and then we will move on to row 2 where the fun begins. All right, now that we are at the end, we have a row of double crochet, okay? So normally we turn our work, but we're not going to turn our work, okay? Because when we work the reverse single crochet, it's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to work reverse. So we're going to work in the opposite direction that we typically work. So the chain 1 will count as a stitch. So when I was designing this, I realized that the reverse single crochet is a little wonky and a bit bulky, and it's totally normal for yours to wave a bit, like as you see here. It's not perfectly straight, and part of that is using the cotton as the fibers grab And it's a smooth cotton, but the way that cotton is, it just kind of clings together. Okay, so the reverse single crochet is weird. So normally we work through the stitch in this way, and we're going to do the same. So again, we're going to skip the first stitch, and it kind of helps to turn your work a bit, because it is so weird on the wrist to try to hold it this way knowing you're working that way and then insert the hook backwards. So I turn my work so I can insert it from the front towards the back like we normally would, yarn over, and really it's more like catching the yarn, and then you pull it through, and so there's a slight twist to it, right? So you have the 2 loops. So if you untwist it, it looks like a normal crochet. So really it's like a twisted single crochet, but backwards. I know, it's confusing. Just bear with me. So turn your work. Again, I have it going that way instead of this way so I can insert the hook in the normal way. Again, the yarn over is typically like this. You can do that, but then you get an extra loop. And let's see the difference. See, it can catch, right? So that's why I don't do it in that way. So insert your hook in the front loop. Just catch the hook and twist up. So that way you have 2 loops on your hook. And then you yarn over and pull through. Like I said, it is weird on the wrist, and it helps if you can pull the loop on the hook a little bit so it doesn't get too unwieldy. You just yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. And so it's twisted and leaning, and that's what gives you the texture. So let's do this again. Coming in closer. Insert your hook front loop only. Hook the yarn instead of like a yarn over. Pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, if you want to do it the other way, where you twist it, you can. This is just the way that has worked for me all the years that I've used this stitch. And so we're just going to continue. Again, you can totally yarn over, pull it up this way, and then pull through 2. So I don't think there's any hard, fast rule when it comes to the reverse single crochet, but it does create a lovely texture. So continue to reverse single crochet until you have 1 stitch remaining. Again, it is fiddly. That is totally normal. All right. Now that we are at the end, we have this stitch plus this one. So we're going to make the last reverse single crochet of this row. And this one's, we are actually going to slip stitch. And so just like a normal slip stitch, I'm just going to work through the front loop only, except for I'm going to kind of turn it, hook it, and pull it through. And this is a little flatter than your typical slip stitch. And so we have row 2 now. We have row 1, we have row 2. So we're not turning yet again. Instead, we are going to work in the back loop to make double crochets. And so looking that this is the first stitch and it's a chain 3, you want to make sure that you grab like the right space, right? So technically that's 1, 2, so it's this loop here that we're going to work in. So you can do a chain 3, but I like to do a chainless starting double crochet, because it's just my thing. It just makes a much neater edge. And again, you could do a stacked single crochet, a standing double crochet, whatever works for you. There's no wrong way just make sure you have the right number of stitches. So now we're going to double crochet in the back loop only of each stitch. And so in the previous row we had, oh, we're getting yarn barf. Bear with me. Okay. So in the previous one, we had 32 double crochet, which have 32 again. We even work into that last stitch that skipped, and then as well as the first one. So you want to make sure that you count your total double crochet, but just double crochet in each stitch. And then we're going to do another row, of reverse single crochet and double crochet. And then we move on to the yarn over slip stitch. So when you get to the end, make sure that you don't forget this stitch that was skipped. And then again, count your stitches to make sure that you're back at 32. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Boom. All right. So we're going to repeat row 2, chain 1, skip the first one, and then reverse single crochet all the way until you have 1 stitch remaining. If you do enough of these, you kind of come up with a rhythm. It is definitely not as smooth as the stitches that we're familiar with, but you do get adjusted. All right, and when you get to the end, remember to slip stitch, again, only in the front loop. Tighten that, and then repeat the process. Double crochet in the back loop only. So again, if we do a chainless starting double crochet, again, that loop can disappear. There we go. Or you can just do a chain 3 and then double crochet. And then when we get to the end, this time we will turn. So after you finish your row of double crochet, we will turn our work, and then we will make our yarn over slip stitch. Again, it's a 8-row repeat, but really for each type of stitch, it's like 2 rows that you repeat. So we now have 5 rows completed. So row 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, working in the front loop, it's not going to grow that tall, but when you look at the back, it's nice and smooth. That's what's so fun about doing textured stitches like this. So now we are going to turn our work, and we're going to chain 1, okay? And now we're going to yarn over slip stitch, or as I said, some people call it a yarn over half double crochet or a half double yarn over. I've seen it other ways. I call it the yarn over slip stitch, which is a term I learned when doing a pattern test. So we yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop only, right? So this time we're working back loop only, which technically is the front loop when you have the right side of the fabric facing you. So we're gonna chain 1, yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over, and then pull through the stitch, the loop, through both loops. That's all there is to it. Yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop through all 3. So just like a slip stitch. So a normal slip stitch, we insert our hook and just pull through the stitch and the loop on the hook. So that extra yarn over is what makes it taller. And so as we see, we're getting a little height on it. So it's like a scrunched up single crochet in a sense. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop through all 3. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull through both loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through both. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull through all 3. So, well, technically 2 loops. So what I learned is all in the wrist, right? Because if you try to pull straight, it catches. So really you gotta turn that hook to pull it through. So continue to yarn over slip stitch until you get to the end, where you will then turn your work, and working in the back loop only, you will then double crochet. So finish your yarn over slip stitches, do your double crochet, and then we'll come back together to do more yarn over slip stitches. Double crochet, well, a chainless starting double crochet, and then double crochet in the back loop only of each stitch. So you may find it helpful to kind of fold the stitches out of the way so it's easier to find the back loop. All right, so we are now at the end of row 7. So again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're going to turn our work. Again, chain 1. And then yarn over slip stitch in each stitch, followed by turning your work and then double crochet. And really that is the repeat, a repeat of rows 2 through 9, 2 more times, and then we move on to finishing. Well, okay, I take that back. Rows 2 through 9 and then do 2 through 5. Let's check our progress. So this is an 8-row repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to repeat these 8 rows, which is a row of reverse single crochet, a row of double crochet, reverse single crochet, double crochet, yarn over slip stitch, double crochet, yarn over slip stitch, double crochet. It's a mouthful, but it's really easy. So repeat this 2 more times, and then just repeat rows 2 through 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this part here, this is 2, 3, 4, and 5 to finish off the square. So meet me back after you have completed all of these rows. It will be a total of 29 rows, and then we will do the edging together. All right, so we have now finished all of the repeats. Again, that was an 8-row repeat, which is 2 rows of the reverse single crochet with the rows of the yarn over slip stitch with the double crochet rows in between. So that's 1, that's 2, and then we repeat it there. And so to finish off this square, we are going to do a simple single crochet edging. So we're going to chain 1 and then evenly single crochet. So for me, I like to do 2 single crochets in the side of a double crochet. And because these rows are worked in the front loop and it doesn't actually add height, I don't worry about trying to put a single crochet here. Instead, I just work into the sides of the double crochet. Like so. All right, so continue to work your single crochet evenly until the corner here. where we're just going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet all the way around, and then we will join here, weave in the end, and you're all done. We've worked along one side, and make sure catch the right loops. There we go. And for the corner, literally just chain 1. You could chain 2 if you like, and then again, this is that foundation chain that we made. I'm going to put a single crochet there, and then one single crochet in each stitch. And the foundation chain might be a bit tight. That is okay, and that is normal unless you were intentional to make your chain looser. So just continue to single crochet in each stitch, chain 1 at the corner, work up the other side, chain 1 in the next corner, single crochet in each stitch, and then we shall fasten off. Alrighty. So now that we are at the end, cut your yarn. I always have my snips handy. And then for this, you can either slip stitch to the beginning to the first stitch, like so, after you make your chain 1, or use it as your chain 1. Or what I like to do is make the chain 1, but then pull the tail all the way through, and I leave a generous tail because I don't have my yarn needle. What I am going to do is pull it through like so. And that way it appears seamless. So one option is to do the same thing without the chain 1, so that it's all together, and then with your yarn needle weave that in. But there you go, the corded dishcloth. So again, you have this lovely texture on this side, and then it's nice and smooth on this side. But yeah, that's all there is to it. So I hope you had fun crocheting with me, Creations by Courtney. And make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on upcoming tutorials, making patterns like this one, and more, as well as some fiber fashion stylings and unboxings. So I'll talk with y'all soon. Keep stitching.